Morning, everyone. Good to see you all. Day 23. Cool. So we're gonna get right into it. Just before we get into our session today, we've done a lot of studying. We've taken a lot of time to think about what the Om is, and because of that time spent in contemplation, simple statements might mean a little bit more to us now. And so the simple statement is that the Om is real. The Om can be heard in the world. The Om can be felt in the world because the Om represents this hierarchy of vibration and the quality of that vibrational nature, which is everything comes and everything goes and everything exists and everything together is eternal, and all of that, the ability to sense that as together as one manifest thing, to hear every sound in your environment as one voice, it enables us to recognize our own consciousness. It enables us to recognize Bhairav. It does something. And what it does, at least for me, the way I like to put language to, is that it reduces the complexity and diversity of the world into a dyad, into two things. It reduces the world into myself and reality, Atman, the innermost individual, and Brahma, the total experience of existence. And so when you're sitting there and it comes like a wave or a gust of wind out of nowhere, and you're being cued to listen to everything, and some portion of your mind is just listening to the ordinary, birds or a ceiling fan or cars driving outside or neighbors opening and closing their doors. And so there's that part of the mind that's just thinking and observing the world as it has been trained to observe the world. But then you have these new concepts and these new ideas sort of gaining ground. And all of a sudden, right, you focus, you feel, and the mind sort of gets wiped out. And there is this moment of space, this moment of sincerity, in that all the sounds of the world are reduced to life. All the sounds of the world and the feelings of the body are contained within the concept, the abstract concept of the Om. And you're sitting there feeling this Om. And in that moment, it might be prudent, it might be helpful to realize, to think a little bit more. What am I experiencing right now? Because the I is still there. I'm experiencing my own soul, Atman, in direct contact with life itself, with Brahman. And so, just think of it. That is the peak experience of the yogi, to actually have this one-on-one with existence, not with the tiny little bits of existence that we're used to, not a single blade of grass, not an individual person, not an individual world, but the existence itself that defines all of this myriad of experience and forms. And it's a deeply powerful thing. Whether it's real, whether it's unreal, whether it's placebo, whether it's actual, those questions are just sort of the contamination of a mind trying to reduce the profundity of the experience. At least that's how a yogi or a sage would say it. Our mind is working to pull us away from the sacred, away from the divine, and into the ordinary. So interesting thoughts, but simply said, all we have to do is listen and let what we've learned over the course of these 3 weeks affect us in a positive way. And that takes a little bit of sort of brain power on our end. And, we will be gifted or graced with, a unique moment, hopefully. So let's get started. Powerful seated position. Position 1. Wrists on knees, really nice straight arms. Rotate your palms up to the sky. Shoulder blades draw away from the skull. Shut your jaw. A true adventure. Now bring a random finger to each thumb. And this mudra represents precision. It represents a finite point in the infinity of life. Of course, you are that point. This moment is that point. And that point is special. Control your breath, of course. Breathe into the stomach, breathe into the chest, avoid the collarbone, and enjoy the exhale, prolonged and patient. The underlying skill to relax our bodies enough and in that open our minds enough to absorb these huge concepts and then behold them in the world is feeling. Feel, don't think. Feel what? Tingling, buzzing, vibratory sensation within the body. Nud. Feel sound. And so rather than 2 or 3 minutes here to touch peace, let's push the envelope and in 3 breaths, generate that peace. If in your next 3 breaths, peace comes or does not come, bring your hands to heart center and acknowledge its presence or its absence. And so if you're experiencing peace within these 3 breaths because you provoked it, what actually happened on a philosophical stage? You renounce the mind. You renounce the body. You renounce your routine. You let go of your fixations. You let go of your aversions. And in that, consciousness withdrew back into its true nature. Your rationality still understands you are you. You are what you define yourself as. But a new space is opened. The yogis believe the more associated you are with that inner space, that pure awareness, the easier it is to see the true nature of the world, which is ever-present, inconceivably intelligent harmony. And in that, you experience peace. The gridlock of thought is dissolved, life is allowed to flow, peace is allowed to come. And if peace has not come, it's because in this moment, for whatever reason, you are unwilling to relinquish your logic and your identity and your expectations and your desires, which is fine. Acknowledging that you are gripping, acknowledging that you are pushing away, acknowledging that you're thinking of the future, thinking of what you want instead of letting it all go, is a really powerful moment. It provides a lot of information, provides a lot of education onto what to do and what not to do to facilitate a successful practice. The strange truth is sometimes we want peace, and sometimes we'd rather hold on to our anger, or hold on to our to-dos, or hold on to our desires. Who can say what's right or wrong? From here, Bhumi Sparsha Mudra, Shunyata Drishti. And so the posture of the body is purely symbolic. Again, art. But the drishti is useful. The drishti wakes you up. Today's session, like yesterday's session, will fixate entirely on listening. Again, the opening comment, the Om is real. The Om is in everything. It's in the birds singing, it's in the ceiling fan spinning, it's in the cells of your body, in the cells of your neighbors, it's in the threads of fabric in your rug or carpet or couch. It is the underlying vibrational nature of existence, a vibration defined as beginnings and ends, as change. And because we've spent 3 weeks thinking and defining and redefining and reframing this concept, this blanket statement, this fantastical statement, the Om is real, it is in everything you see, actually makes sense, and that is awesome. And so while you listen today and feel your body, while your mind wanders inside and outside, here and there, appreciate that everything is contained by this fundamental pattern of change, and in its own way vibrates from its beginning to its end, and in that is the Om. Interact with it intuitively, but interact with it sincerely. Slow, patient breaths. I'll chime back in at the end with an Om, and then we will Om together. Awesome work. Congratulations, day 23. Behold the Om. Let's take a deep breath in together. Prolong the exhale. Shunyata Drishti, wake up to your practice. The world is diversified, and the mind is strong. Our rationality is strong. Our intellect is strong. If you find it difficult to perceive the extraordinary within the moment you have, feel your body and only your body. Slow down your breath. The buzz of subtle sensation, the flow of blood, the firing of nerves. It's this sensation that is most obviously correlated to the idea of vibration. And as you pay more and more attention to this vibratory experience, the mind can confirm, yes, I at least am vibrational because I feel it. I at least can see how I am made of nud, I am made of sound. And from there, the philosophical leap, I at least can see how I am the Om, or how the Om is within me. And so direct your attention to the sensations of the body. As you feel those sensations, consider that as the Om. As we relax our bodies and as we still our bodies, we give ourselves a chance to actually feel our nervousness and our anxiety. At first, through the impulse to twitch and move, But once that's squashed, we still feel it rumbling in the mind. In our power and in our faith, in practice, we choose to remain still, to tolerate the currents of thought and feel. And as we feel these slow, manicured breaths, the mind over time softens. And so as we trigger our parasympathetic nervous system, Ida, Nadi, the lunar channel, the cooling channel, our brains are literally more willing to think more abstract, more complicated thoughts. In that, our minds, like hands, grow and are able to withstand and carry the huge concepts of yoga, which prove to be beneficial in changing our worldview, transforming it into a more positive and extraordinary space. And so here's the evidence. Slow down your breath. From feeling your body, again pay attention to your environment and consider that it is only one thing. What you are interacting with is life. Every wall of your home is part of a single home. Every blade of grass is part of the lawn. Every cloud in the sky is part of the sky. Everything is part of life, and that thing is Brahman. Your body is included in that thing. Your brain tissue is included in that thing, and in that your thoughts and your identity is included in that thing. And yet here you are sitting down patiently and quietly, beholding all of it. And so it is you, Atman, the innermost individual, and the world, Brahman. And so if this makes sense to you, you have elevated your consciousness from Bhuloka, ordinary human intelligence, rational, doubtful, intuitive, to Satyaloka, symbolic, abstract, divine, and hyper-meaningful. If you're there with me, there is a sense of completion. Purnam adaha, that is complete. When Purnam idam, I am complete. And so in this completeness, we chant the Om, a symbol that somehow contains every variance, every individual, every experience, and organizes it into one comprehensible sound. A-U-M. I'll chant once, then we'll bring our hands together and close our ritual with 3 chants of the Om. Hands to heart center. A-U-M. Just feel the vibration rise from the heart space, Hridayasya, into the skull cap. Take a breath in. It's you in the world, round 2. Feel the completeness of it all. We'll chant the Om last time. Thumb knuckles to third eye center. Separate your thumbs from the skin of your forehead just by 1 millimeter. The vibration is there. You mechanically adjusted your body's nerve constitution, and in that your brain is literally more willing to think this way, and you can feel it. It is as real as it is unreal. As you focus on that little point, notice what is aware of that point. Notice bite of, what is beyond the Om, what chants the Om, what beholds the Om. It's the same thing that beholds the mind, and beholds every fleeting emotion. Parvati asks Shiva, the Lord of Yoga, what is the nature of the soul? What is the nature of truth? Truth beholds. It is beyond change. It is an eternal witness to the experience, to the glory, to the creative expression of life. The transcendental message of yoga is the point of life is not to live through more experience, but to behold the witness, to become that witness. You can feel it now. With your next exhale, release your wrist, posture 1, random finger to each thumb. And so the world moves. Everyone's getting on with their day. The birds are awake. The clouds are moving. The world is changing. And here we are, symbolizing that stillness, symbolizing that non-reactivity, symbolizing that openness, symbolizing Bhairav, symbolizing what is beyond sound. Take one breath to honor that meaning. You're about to end your practice with an inhale, open your eyes, and behold the Om. Looks very familiar. All right. Awesome work, everyone. Hope you enjoyed that. Listening, these ideas reframe the way we interact with the world. Is it real? Is it unreal? Who knows? But it does have an effect, and that's what matters. If you like the effect, if you like that expansive mysticism, so you can go out into the world and see something more than just the ordinary, more than just the present. You really pull in the past when you think about these philosophies, and they become a part of your mind. You keep practicing, you keep doing it. But at its simplest, if you just slow down your breath and breathe slowly from time to time, the world literally does open, because it relaxes your brain enough and switches the gears in your brain enough that you think in more expansive ways. So a relaxed mind is a deep, deep mind, and that is a sweet thing.